All right, guys, what's up? This is David Villa. It's 3:30 on Thursday, and it's Auto Dealer Live time. Come on now. I'm sitting here ready to bring on some fire, some heat. I've got four. We just added someone that's going to be on with Josh Mitchell at the last minute. He's actually one of our clients, a GM out of Oregon, and Juan's going to be joining us too. And matter of fact, Juan, I don't even know Juan's last name because he just literally came on through one of our sales reps. You know his last name? You weren't on.
Azuna.
Juan Azuna. He is the general manager of Tom Denzel Ford out of Oregon. And he's going to be on here the third and final segment with Josh Mitchell. Josh is the internet sales manager, freshly minted new internet sales manager at the one and only Capital Chevrolet out of Austin, Texas, which you know the general manager, managing partner there, Mr. Alex Flores, who's been on a couple of times here in the last few months. And segment 2, just prior to that, we have the founder and CEO of Converge 360 out of Orlando. We've got Todd Smith coming on. And then to kick things off here in just a few minutes, you're going to want to hang on to your freaking seatbelt, whatever it is, right? We've got the one and only Shaka Dyson on, founder of Dealer F&I University out of Chicago. We're all familiar with Shaka. Shaka literally brings straight fire every time he comes on, and today's going to be no exception. Now, here's what's really cool. I have some talking points for the last two segments, but when you have Shaka on, I mean, you just have an open conversation because Shaka just brings it, and we just fill the time.
Dadgum. I don't know how to work a soundboard, apparently. Dude, Shaka is one of the most dynamic personalities in automotive.
He is, man.
That of all the ones I've met, he is the most dynamic.
He is. Awesome. Well, I'm excited. This is going to be a great show. This is going to be one you're going to want to listen to, and you're going to want to share. So do me a favor, share the show. We're going to give away something today that's near and dear to my heart. It's it's a brand new line, apparel line. Those of you that follow me know I like clothes, and I'm a man of faith. Just love. I like encouraging, inspirational things when it comes to Christianity. And so we developed a line called Faith Gear Company, and we've got hoodies and t-shirts. And I mean, you just name it. We're going to have all kinds of apparel. We're going to have some things for your office, your desk, your wall, just anything and everything that's going to really, really be cool. Not some cheesy stuff. I'm talking about things that I wear, things that people here wear, things on our walls. And I'm going to give away one of these shirts today. Check this out. Now, these shirts are for sale on Faith Gear Company, and that's faithgear.co. But I'm going to give this away. This shirt here says strength, and then it has Philippians 4:13 just right here, really little, just the reference verse, but it's the word strength. And listen, even if you don't have muscles, this shirt will make you look strong. Come on now. I'm going to give this away to someone who shares the show today, and we just launched this within the last couple of weeks. So you're going to be one of you'll probably be one of just a few people in the auto circle that has theirs already. So share the show, like the show, comment. Anyone who does, we're going to draw somebody at the end. We're going to give it away, and we'll send it to you whatever size you want. We've got all sizes. All right, so you guys stay tuned for just a really good show. So a couple of things I want to kind of go over with you guys just to kind of fill you in. Virtual Digital Dealer Conference. We're going to give away 5 tickets today as well. And dealers, listen, if you want to go, you don't want to miss this. There's been an overwhelming large amount of registration. It's virtual this year for the first time ever, due to COVID and everything. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of that word, right? But listen, it is what it is, and it's virtual this year, but it's going to be outstanding. And I'm going to be emceeing the conference. So grateful and thankful that I get the opportunity to do that. And so I'm emceeing all of the conference. I'm going to be doing all the Q&A with all the amazing keynote guests over the period of 2.5 days. And it's going to be virtual. And the day one, this show right here, Auto Dealer Live, David Cribbs, who will be back next week, and myself, we will be co-hosting Auto Dealer Live as the day one, end of day keynote. We have an outstanding, incredible lineup of guests already slated for that show, and we do have some slots available, and are looking to bring some real interesting subjects in and jam it into that short keynote. But you don't want to miss it, and if you haven't registered, make sure you register. We're going to make the link available in comments during the show, but we're going to give away 5 tickets. So not only will somebody win this shirt, but we're also going to give away 5 tickets for free to the Virtual Digital Dealer Conference. You get access to the entire conference, and you're not going to want to miss that because I have a feeling that just like any other first, a lot of times it's going to be a really good conference. So share the show today, and we'll make sure that if you like it, share it. We'll get you set up. So Shaka Dyson's going to be on in just a minute, and then stay tuned, Todd Smith and Josh Mitchell. We're going to be back in just 90 seconds. We're going to go ahead and just roll a quick digital dealer promo. Are we ready for that, Mike?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to roll that. We'll be back in 90 seconds with our guest, and look forward to a great show with you guys. Stay tuned. All right, guys, we're back. This is David Villa. You're listening to Auto Dealer Live. I'm flying solo today. Actually, I've got a crew in here. Mike, Samuel, our social media manager, Mike, our producer, and Ezra, our AV specialist. So these guys are always chiming in, but I'm flying solo on the hosting side. Cribbs will be back next week. But let me tell you something, man. It just means more time for what you're about to experience. And it's been a little bit since I've had the honor to have this man on. Obviously no stranger to the auto business, just one of the most passionate individuals. I think, probably one of the most inspirational keynotes and addresses I've heard in the auto business was a couple of years ago when I saw Shaka speak at Hustle and Grind Con. He literally fired the stage up, and so I'm privileged to have him on today, the founder of Dealer F&I University, Mr. Shaka Dyson. Sir, how are you doing today?
Man, I am doing phenomenal. Thank you for having me on the show. And you know what? Every time I'm on this show, the introductions get better and better, man. I must be doing something right, man. Of course you are, man.
Listen, you're all over the place, and it's really an honor to somebody. People don't understand. I mean, we're all busy, but I mean, you're busy moving, constantly moving and impacting and touching, and so I'm really excited to have you. Be able to stop and pause for a little bit and be with us. And I know that our listeners are going to benefit from it. And let me ask you, man, just kind of diving right into this because, we have 3 segments today, so we have a limited amount of time together. But, looking at F&I today, with everything, and there's only certain people. I haven't on this show talked about F&I really since all the COVID stuff. And one of the reasons, there's only a few people in this nation that I really want to hear from when it comes to, this topic. And you are at the forefront of that, period. And so I want to ask you, when it comes to this period of time, I mean, what do you think that, we benefited from? And we'll start there, looking at the positive first, the glass half full. What do you think the auto industry benefited from this season that we've gone through within the F&I department? What do you think the benefit is if you had to pull one out?
Man, I think the benefit of as a whole and the F&I department is that, during the times of squeeze, whether it be during this COVID-19 or whether it be during the tragic September 11th or whether it be during the 08 housing crisis, the automotive industry is always in the forefront of bringing the economy back. Cash for clunkers in the 08 crisis, September 11th, it was 000. Luckily this time we were deemed essential, so we kept on working through this pandemic. But we've had to step up for customers. What we've had to do is become a more customer friendly department. We've had to, our goal has had to be to out experience our competition. Mm-hmm. Our goal has had to be to step up and see the finance department and the finance process through the customer's eyes, and to see and to really pay attention to what the customers want and to put the customer's needs as the number one priority. Mm-hmm. Now, what is that? Not only is that selling product to the customer and making sure that those customers are protected, but also keeping in mind how they view their time, right? Because now customers have a limited amount of places they can go, and it's been even more limited over the last 6-8 months. Last place they want to come is spend all day in a car dealership. And the last place they want to go is not only spend all day in a car dealership, but then spend hours and hours back in the finance department. So luckily for us, the F&I department, we're some of the strongest people in the store, and we know how to adapt. So we've had to become more efficient. We've had to become more customer focused on out experiencing our competition and rolling out the red carpet for our customers. And we've had to become better overall at what it is that we do, man.
Let me ask you, thank you, Shaka. Let me, and kind of piggyback and just going on that a little bit. You know, looking at it's always in my, I mean, obviously my limited experience in that part of, you know, the business. Obviously, you're the expert, but in my limited experience working with dealerships who, you know, have always had strong F&I, even in the arena of subprime, or, you know, they've always the ones that are the best, the ones that are making the most back end money, you know, the ones that they're doing it right, they're doing it with integrity, but they're making money, and it's a very profitable piece of the business. They always were creative. They always were hard workers. They were willing to work the relationships with the lenders. They were willing to, you know, just do the above and beyond. And those who didn't, just kind of like, you know, they were the ones who would kick a deal, you know, with a guy across the street, would get it done. And what, you know, what's the difference other than one worked harder and just was more creative? In this season and time, do you think that those dealerships that were already prepared and doing that, you know, do you think that this was easier for them? Meaning, because obviously there had to be some more creativity, some more work dealing with customers who maybe thought that, you know, during this, there's no way I'm going to get bought or whatever. I mean, what's your experience on that level with creativity and just really working relationships in this season? Do you think it?
Yeah, man. In times of hardships are always going to separate the great from the average, right? And so those who have been getting by, being average, doing things the wrong way, not fully disclosing information, using the old outdated systems to sell product to customers, etc., not really keeping in mind the customer's focus, customer's intention, customer's experience, right? Those average people are getting squeezed out, but the ones who have been doing the right things for the longest time, and those who have been focused already on out experiencing their competition and focused already on doing the hard things to become great, of course, man, their segue into their greatness has been a lot easier because they were doing it long before the pandemic happened. See, they were focused on being great beforehand. They didn't need to face a pandemic or a hardship in order to be great. So those are the people that survive and they thrive in the worst situations.
Yeah, you know, people, every time we go down different trails in this show, it always seems to come back to that. You know, it's funny because there's really nothing new in the car business under the sun, so to speak, when you really look at what counts. But because, you know, you can have new tools, you can have new strategies and what have you, but it always comes back to those who want it more. I mean, sure. You know, one day I think people will stop asking the question, how do I become successful? Because the reality is there's really one way, you know, and you got to just do what other people aren't willing to do. And, you know,
put in the work. Put in the work.
Amen. You know, so let me ask you this: moving forward, like, you know, where you know, banks have obviously stepped up and done some creative things, and you know, there's been records, man. I mean, really, the car business in many cases where dealers have done it the right way, some have struggled, but most that are doing it the right way have shattered records. You know, they've lowered their staff a little bit, but they've increased their sales. They're looking at things a little differently. I mean, moving forward into you know, into the F&I side of things. I mean, what do you see on the horizon? Because I know you're always, you know, you're one of these guys that you never lead from the back. You're always leading from the front. You're always standing on the bow, and you see something usually ahead of where most others do, and you're kind of going back and say, hey, this is what's coming. And what do you think's around the bend for the you know, for finance and insurance in the car business? And where do you see it going?
Pretenders are getting exposed. So that's the number one. Pretenders are getting exposed, man. You know, transparency is becoming more and more and more of a focus back in finance, right? So those finance managers who survived and even thrived a little bit, but let's just say survived on the days of leg and on the days of payment spread and on the days of packing payments and on the days of not fully disclosing information to a customer. Those days are leaving us. Every time we get hit with a hardship, the go-to is more transparency, more full disclosure, more rolling out the red carpet for customers, more out experience in our competition, more and more and more and more and more. So Pretenders are getting exposed. Skill set is the way of the future. There's nothing wrong with the products that we sell in the back end. And there's nothing wrong with making a profit for the products that we sell in the back end. But there is a problem with how it's done. There is a problem with the process. There is a problem with the presentations. The days of the old where you're going down the list and you're saying, hey, this does this does that, this does this does that. Which one of those works best for you? Those days are gone.
Man, that's fire.
Now it's time for the customer to see thousands, tens of thousands of dollars worth of value in the product that only costs $2,000.
Come on.
That's the future. Right? The future is that customers don't have to go to an office in a dealership now to purchase a vehicle. The future is that people becoming creative using technology like we're doing right here to still deliver a car and to still sell product to a customer. The future is you have to have a skill set if you're not sitting across from a customer, but you're doing presentations through a video camera and a system like Zoom. You have to have a skill set. Right? So that's the way of the future. So pretenders are getting exposed and those with skill set are rising to the top.
Man, that's fire. Absolutely. So skill set. Let's talk about that for a second. Obviously, you're the founder of Dealer F&I University. I mean, you did it on the blacktop. You ran, a crew of more finance managers. You ran more finance managers than
65.
Man, that's more than I think. I don't know anyone else that did that. especially, you just didn't run them from an ivory tower somewhere. I mean, you were hands on and
100%.
And so look, you're teaching and you have the right and the cred to teach and so looking at this and skill sets, how important is training today? And and more than ever, I should say, but how important do you feel it is today and why?
So it's the separator, right? So training is going to build the F&I muscle. Training is going to build the F&I intellect. Training is going to build the skill set. It is the separator. Listen to me. As a matter of fact, I would probably gander to say that I've probably interviewed more potential finance managers in this entire industry than anyone else. And I've probably gander to say I've hired or promoted more people into finance in this entire industry than anybody else. But listen to me, my interviews and the way that I approach it are different. I don't use a resume. I don't need to see a person's resume and discuss how long they were at this dealer and why they left this dealer and, oh, it was the dealer's fault and they treated you bad and blah, 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 blah. Right? A resume is just it's an incomplete highlight reel. That's what a resume is. Whenever I'm interviewing a potential finance manager for any one of my dealerships for a position for that awesome six-figure privileged position within my store, I don't discuss their resume in depth. What I make them do is I make them do a presentation for me on all the finance products that we sell, and then I slam them with objections, and I make them overcome all my objections and close me and show me that if I was a customer, they would have generated revenue on me right then.
Man,
see, that's my approach, but it takes a skill set to do it. You don't have a payment to pack before you come interview with me. You don't have a payment spread before you come interview with me. There is no rate spread before you come and interview with me. It's straight pull back the covers and let's see that skill set, because I need for you to present me and I'm gonna slam you with objections, and I need for you to overcome all of them and close me, and that's how you get a position in one of my stores, one of those six-figure, high-paying, high-powered, privileged positions.
I love it. And, and last question here, and I appreciate you hanging with us too, because it's been, I could just talk to you all day, man, because it fires me up. You just kind of segued right into what I was going to ask you last when you mentioned, one of these high-paying, six-figure jobs. And so, there's still, and there should be, dealers, if they do it right, Shaka, the finance department should be a money maker. I know I've talked to you about this, and we've had past shows where we've had different principals on sometimes with you, and the conversations have just round robin about that, where you're a big believer in doing it right, doing it with integrity, but
100%.
Certainly making a bottom line substantially, where the finance department, this department that you're passionate about, is a substantial force when it comes to the bottom line of a dealership, a healthy dealership. Talk about that. So that's what the finance department is.
The finance department is the most profitable square footage within your dealership. It should be. It should be the department that's generating revenue. It should be the department that's printing money. It should be the department that's taking care of customers, that's covering customers. There's no department within a dealership that is more responsible for customer satisfaction than the finance department. Later on down the line, 3-4 years down the line, long after the customer has purchased the vehicle from the dealership, when that customer has a failure and is in an emergency situation, it is the products that the finance department protects that customer with that's going to be there in the midnight hour, that's going to be there on the holidays, that's going to be there 365 days a year. Even when the employees at the dealership aren't available, that product is. And so therefore, that's what drives customer satisfaction. The fact that in an emergency situation, the customer is protected. So yes, we should get paid for that. Profit is not a bad word, especially when you're taking care of customers, especially when you're out experiencing the competition and you're giving that great, fantastic experience to a customer, taking care of them. You should get paid for it. So anybody out there who's doing it correctly and who's generating the revenue that they should be in their F&I department, good for them, because that's exactly what we're there for. And those F&I departments out there that aren't doing it correctly, that aren't structured correctly, that don't have the right people in there, that don't do the right processes, that don't have the right presentations, that aren't getting the right production and generating revenue, you know what? You're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on the table, and you're leaving millions of dollars a year, every other year on the table. You're leaving millions and millions and millions of dollars on the table.
You know, I love that. And somebody would say, you know, when you talk this way, man, it fires me up because, you know, it's funny. The car business always gets a rap with some folks. And I know that those are not people that, you know, you and I listen to or you know, too seriously. But, you know, it's funny, man, companies that are public like Apple and these companies that they post their profits. I mean, they're talking about some of the most, you know, valuable companies in the world. And we know they're making money, but yet, you know, we buy their products. And it's funny, man, the car business, you know, I love what you said. When you do it right, you should be making a substantial bottom line.
100%.
And man, let me tell you something. I mean, I like my phone, but man, I like my ride better. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, it's a product that matters, and we care about what we're driving. You know, and you can say what you want, but Americans love their vehicles. And man, Shaka, I absolutely love having you on, man. It's been a while, and I miss you, brother. I know that you know, we probably would have seen each other a couple of times, you know, if it weren't for what's going on. But I look forward to the next time I get a chance to see you. And folks, check out, if you haven't already, founder of Dealer F&I University. If you need, if you're listening right now and you're weak in this area, then, you know, I don't have to convince you. He just did. You need to reach out to him because he can help you. And I have a feeling that somebody's going to be hearing this, Shaka, and will get a hold of you. What a great time to, you know, to tighten up, you know, that department and make some money going into the end of this year and the beginning of next year, man. Leave us with the closing remark.
You know, my closing remark is simply this, man. The way forward is skill set, skill set, skill set, skill set. Every woe and challenge and issue and hardship that you have in F&I is due to a lack of skill set. Mm-hmm. Listen, the customer is not obligated to go back and finance and purchase your products, but you as a finance manager are obligated to sell them. You are obligated to take care of the customer by closing that customer and protecting that customer, even if the customer resists or objects to you. So that's going to take it takes a skill set, and it's going to take an even more powerful skill set moving forward. Transparency and out experience in the competition is the key. So those without skill set will be exposed, and those with skill set will thrive. Hey, listen, if you want to get in touch with me, feel free to go to my website, shakadyson.com. You just go right to where it says contact, fill out the form. It comes straight to me. Or you can simply call me directly. My phone number is 678-481-4077. Or you can simply hit me up on Facebook.
Shaka Dyson. Sir, thank you for hanging out with us, man. It's been awesome, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.
100%, man. Thank you, brother.
Thank you. Well, you heard it there, folks. Shaka Dyson, and you know what a great segment. And you know, I again haven't talked much, Mike, you know, about F&I here, you know, in the last few months. We've talked about a lot of things, but specifically have not. But let me tell you, been saving it to really talk to the who I consider the master, not only of the past but of the current and of the future, because he's been around for a little while. But he's not reached his peak yet, but he's at a high place, and he's got a lot of vision in front of him with this division, and so man, he just brought the fire today.
Absolutely, he got me fired up, and I don't know anything about F&I. I don't know anything about finance. I've been in the box twice in my life, and I don't know anything about it, but he got me fired up.
Some would say that since you couldn't, your mic wasn't unmuted twice, that you might not know a ton about producing.
But
I didn't say that, but some might say.
Ezra said it. I know. He said it when I walked out of the room.
That was Ezra laughing.
Ezra's the one talking trash behind my back. It's all good.
All right, so hey, real quick, if you are just joining us, if you like or share the show, we're going to go ahead and give somebody this strength shirt. It is part of our Faith Gear Company line, one of our few shirts. And we're going to give it away. All you got to do is like the show, share the show. We've got these available on faithgear.co. We're just doing it to share, man, the good news. And this is probably one of my favorite ones. I mean, these are really good quality shirts. We wear them here, and got a lot of cool stuff coming out. We're going to give this away. Also, we've got tickets to Digital Dealer. We're going to be giving away as well. If you like or share the show, comment, then you are a candidate for one of those tickets, and we'll give the shirt away. We'll make an announcement at the end on who gets the shirt. That'll be easy enough. Are we ready for Todd?
Todd is coming up. He's ready.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, going to our segment 2, we have the founder and CEO of Converge 360 Inc. And looking forward to talking to him. He's out of Orlando, Florida, Mr. Todd Smith. Todd, what's up, my friend?
Hanging in there, man. How are you doing today?
Oh man, it's been awesome. Been a great day so far. Good week, and looking forward to talking to you. So I'm looking at here the collision of two generations in automotive. I'm gonna throw that out there because I can't help but just throw that back at you and say, give us an intro on your best intro on the collision of two generations in automotive and what that means to the listeners right now.
Yeah, so look, I'm the older generation at this point, which is kind of weird to say, but the beard shows it.
I'm with you, brother.
I really looked at things, and being a Gen X, which most guys my age are running stores, own stores, and then you have this younger generation that to me, the millennials and Gen Z, and I think we've grown up differently. Meaning when I was a kid, everything was like, you got to work hard. You got to go to college. You have to just apply yourself. It's work. Mm-hmm. And hard work equates success. And I think it was pounded into our generation, right? And just like it was pounded into the generation before that. And I think once we got to the millennial generation and tech really kind of took a part of our lives, it was be smart, be efficient. Everything is about hacking stuff today. I need a shortcut. I have to create these bridges. And that's a conflict for the older generation that thinks we're still drilled into working hard. That's how you get ahead. The younger generation is, I don't need to work hard. I need to work smart and efficiently and be effective. And if I can hack it and still get the same result, that's good. And that's just a collision course. And I think I see that rub happening in dealers across the nation with management and the confliction with salespeople and BDC reps and who are trying to find a better path.
Right.
And they're getting pushed down from the older generation. And it's a conflict time. And listen, this conflict has happened generations after generations. It's just, we're in that period of time, and it just became obvious to me. So.
Look, that I like it. I like it a lot. And, let me kind of delve into it and play devil's advocate, ask some questions and comment on it. So I'm looking at what you're saying, and I immediately think of it from a couple of perspectives. So let's, and I'll let you as the expert comment on these. But one perspective could be hours worked, right? We're talking like the physical or the literal terminology work harder. So you have the millennial generation or the Gen Z, what have you. These generations want to work smarter. And, where the Generation X, our generation, they still subscribe to working harder. So you have that conflict where you're calling a collision course. But let me throw something else out there, because there's like a in my opinion there might be a flip side to that where I don't know if I think it might have something to do with technology, and I want to get your take on this because I've got millennials and Gen Z folks here that work really hard. They do, however, love. My guy was nodding his head as you were saying life hacks or growth hacks. He was nodding his head. They like that, but I think that when you pay attention as someone that like us to what they're doing, they are working hard. They're just so it's not that I was drilled in work hard. It's the way we needed to work hard. We had to sit around and try to figure it out where there were no hacks, so to speak. So I'm cool with hacks too. So in other words, is it really that I'm drilled and you're drilled in about hours, or is it just that, hey, we got to get it done at all costs, even if a hack's involves? You see where I'm going with that. So I think that there could be two things in it. We couldn't be. Maybe we're not as different as some might think. What do you think on that?
Look, I don't think we're different. I just think it's the where you start that journey, the beginning stages of it, right? And look, I believe I like to try to figure out how to hack and do things today. But if you go back to when you were young or just starting out in the business, or I was, 18, 20 years old in the car business, and you look at it and say, no, you need to do bell to bells, you need to put your hours in, you got to earn your stripes. Success was definitely always associated with time. And to me, the belly to belly experiences, right? Customer to salesperson. So I think now that the new generation says, oh my gosh, well, I don't want to work bell to bell. That's not attractive. I want a normal 8-hour workday because I think that's a better approach. And if I could maximize my time and get as much done through hacks to achieve that, then that should be okay. And I think the older, our generation looks at that and goes, no, you still need to work bell to bell. Even if you have the hack and you are productive,
right?
You still have to put the time in. Because you hear it constantly. I mean, I hear BDC managers and the complaints and sales managers, my team doesn't work hard or enough. And you got to wonder if is really everyone across the nation, the younger generation, not working hard enough? No. That's not possible. Yeah. So it got me thinking a little bit deeper. And I think it's the psychology of this. And that's what's really, and my thought was, it's a thought-provoking conversation, right?
Yeah.
If you open your mind to it,
let me delve a little further. I agree with you. I do. And I think and I think that because here's a proof of that. Like, taking BDC for a second, we have a great segment coming up in just a minute with Josh Mitchell, who is a phenomenal internet director.
Josh, great guy, man.
And also have a GM out of Oregon on. And but looking at BDC, you mentioned BDC. I know dealerships that are experiencing. We just hired someone out of a 6-store group out of Arkansas. He runs our BDC now. He just literally started in the last couple of weeks. So I've been talking to him about this for 6 months, and he told me, he shared stories where cuts were made, where this division in these stores were up 30%. So in other words, it was even monetarily making sense, but there were still cuts made in this one department versus somewhere else. So it just shows that the perception is not correct. And so I love what you said here, where you talk about we have the same goal, right? A lot of times we just have different approaches for dealing with the issues. And so I think that I don't think anybody would argue with that. And here's my question, I guess, kind of digging and jumping right into the heart of it. How do we change this in this industry that in many ways it's like turning the Titanic, right? And the biggest reason, when COVID or the bottom falls out of something, dealerships have no choice but to change. But when it's doing well, and a lot of stores are breaking records right now and doing well, money's being made. I think that might be the driving factor for the lack of change. It's like I'm comfortable. I'm making money, so I don't really see the need to do it fast. I don't want to disrupt this. And so my question, I guess, to you, Todd, how do you think that this is changed in the industry where, this bridge, so to speak, can be built?
Yeah, look, I think the first thing to do is you recognize that it's like we're talking two different languages, but we're saying the same thing, right? And to me, there's always a median ground that you have to find organizationally through leadership, and that message has to be told to the team, right? And they have to involve the team, right? So I think right now, still in automotive, we're very management just pushes stuff down, do it my way. I know the way, it's my way, or you don't work here. Versus a little bit more collaborative in nature, which we're just never been that way. Right. And I think you can learn from everybody, right? You may not learn a ton, but you can learn if you're receptive to learning. And a lot of times, as you said, like right now, look, our industry, everyone's running on lean staff. Everyone cut so much. Everyone's making a ton of money, right? So they're able to perform at a higher level, selling a lot of cars with less staff, which gets into another whole area that most dealerships have for years been operating inefficiently because we're in a business that we try to throw tech at it, but we don't do a good job at that. So what we do is we throw human capital to fix our problems. You know, when you want to grow from 200 cars to 300 cars, you're going to have a used car issue of getting them through the shop, getting them clean, getting them through body, getting through service and frontline ready. So what you normally do is you just throw more humans at it, right? And that gets you because you can afford to, because we're profitable enough of businesses. I think for the first time, dealers were able to strip away a layer of fat and see their abs and go, damn, this is really good. And I'm making a lot of money, less headaches. What have I been doing? Yeah. And I think the light bulb's gone on for a lot of dealers I've talked to. They're like, whoa, you know, I can be super successful. I don't need 180 people. I'm doing it on 90. It's just, now you have to start working out, okay, how do I not burn these people out and just push your team too hard? And this always will come down to creating better processes. Tech is great, but tech should support a process. Right. And I don't think our industry has been very good at being thoughtful for process development and keeping it consistent. We manage by stars. Like I know a guy down the road who's the best manager. So I get him and I take all his bad habits and whatever he's doing with him. And then I build my team around it. And when I blow him out, half his guys go and I just do this process over and over again. Right. And I think dealers right now, if I were to double down on anything, it would be to now look at my new abs and structure and say, okay, I need to develop processes to keep this operation I have right now working efficiently. And I think that would be my number one focus. If I was back in retail, that would be where I would lay all my effort right now. So It wouldn't be the tech, or it wouldn't be those other things.
I love it. I think it's a great topic, and I think it's needed in this industry. And I think now is the time. And I think dealers are looking and they're open because, now they're looking at, what they've gone through, and they're saying, okay, now moving forward, things are not going to go back to the way they were. And I don't mean negatively. I mean, they're not going to go back to I'm not going to go back to the way I was doing business. I've learned some things and I've become leaner and meaner, so to speak. So I think now is a really good time. So if dealers wanted to get a hold of you, Todd, of course, what's the best way they can reach out to you if they need some help in this arena?
Look, easy. You could send me an email. It's just Todd, TODD, at 360converge.com. The other way, you can reach me direct, 321-662-7800. Text me, call me. Text is usually fastest, easily to respond. So
nice. All right, Todd Smith, thank you so much, man, for being with me. It's a pleasure meeting you and talking to you. I love what you wrote here, and look forward to getting to know you in the future, man.
Thanks, man. Have a great day.
Hey, you too. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, guys, you heard it there. We've got 2 great segments in the book. We're coming up on our last segment. We've got Josh Mitchell from, Josh, but he's now freshly minted here, Internet Sales Manager of Capital Chevrolet out of Austin, Texas. And then we have Juan
Ozuna.
All right. Juan Ozuna. I'm going to get that. I don't have a pen. I couldn't write it down, so I was trying to.
We're waiting on Juan to join, but Josh is already in.
All right. So Juan Ozuna, and he is General Manager of Tendential Ford out of Oregon. And real quick, if you guys share, like the show, comment, we're going to give away a Strength T-shirt out of our Faith Gear collection. Right while I'm waiting on Juan to come on.
I wanted to jump on and say something. Like, I'm a millennial, 100%. I've looked every which way they define it by year. I fall right into the front part of the year range. And he's right. I always do look for that hack, that way to make ends meet. But at the same time, I don't know if maybe I was just raised differently. You know as well as I do, my managers all around here know I will put in the work and bash my head into a wall until I fix the problem too.
Yeah, but if we had a no beanie policy, you'd be no good.
My bald spot would just be shown to everybody. That's the only difference.
If you're good with Mike, you just buy him a beanie, right? Right, Ez?
Ezra's beanie game isn't as strong as mine. He wishes it was, but it's not.
Ooh, that's where I'm gonna stop you right there.
Well, if we want to bring Josh on really quick, because Juan should be jumping in any second.
Yeah, let's bring Josh on, and we'll wait for Juan. Juan was at it at the last minute. He was on the phone, one of our clients, and on the phone, and wanted to come on, and so we made exception to bring him on. But the segment is Josh was carrying the segment all by himself. So let's bring on the internet sales manager this store is absolutely freaking crushing it, right? General manager, managing partner, Alex Flores was on twice in the last 3 or 4 months. They're just blowing it out of the box. And we have the internet sales manager there at Capital Chevrolet out of Austin, Texas, on with us. No stranger to the show, but his first time on the show at his new store. Josh Mitchell, what's up, my friend?
I'm doing great, guys. How you all?
Oh, man, doing good. And there's Juan down there. Look at Juan in Oregon. Juan, thanks for joining us at the last minute. I appreciate it, man. I know that you're busy, and it's a pleasure to meet you, and doing really well with our program right now. You and Scott Guthrie has some very good stores over there. Also has one in Washington. So thank you. I'm going to get to you in a second, but I want to go to you, Josh, for 1 sec, just because I want to talk about, both of you guys, and Juan, I want you to weigh in on this as a GM. Obviously you believe in BDC, and but Josh is an internet sales manager running this your program. Josh is like bringing in a coach. Like I'm a Bucs fan. We just brought in Tom Brady. Well, a year before we bring in Bruce Arians, which is a great football coach, right? And he installed his system. Tom Brady came in and installed his system. Every great player, right, or coach comes in and installs their system. Josh, you have a system, and it's a good one. So this isn't your first rodeo, and it's not your first time at a big store. You just recently came from a group, but prior to that, you were at Dan Cummings, huge store, and you helped these guys the month they hit that 1,000 car mark. You were a big part of that. So, coming into a store like Capital Chevrolet, which is crushing it, right? Many people would give their left arm to be them. What is your game plan on taking a store that's already crushing it, right, and taking them to the next level? What kind of challenge is that? For you?
It's a huge challenge, but it's something that obviously they wouldn't bring somebody like me in if something didn't need to be fixed or something didn't need to change. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it's implementing process. We're implementing a BDC. They've done internet sales. We're going to the BDC style, because it's something that, in order for this place to take it to that next level, this is something that was missing. And so putting in those pieces from the process to new templates to creating word tracks and different ways to get the customer in the door. Because like you said, it's a big monster of a store. Most people would love, everybody would love to be a part of this type of environment. Mm-hmm. And so it does take a certain person to get in here and shake it up, but it's those little things that take you to that next level. It's not usually the big things that everybody thinks of. It's those small incremental changes that will take you from selling the 7, 8, 9, 10 or 1,000 cars a month. Mm-hmm. That's what it's going to take, and that's what I'm implementing. Those small little changes, and keeping my team on task and keeping them moving faster as we go through this. Well,
and the thing is, you said something that made me think it's interesting, because if a store is as successful as a Capital Chevrolet, they already are doing the big things right. They have to be, or they wouldn't be where they are. So it's interesting how you said it's tweaking, right? Because there's just some things that need to be tweaked, and you're kind of that person. You're the person that takes something and kind of fine tunes it. This isn't a turnaround situation. This is fine tuning, something that's already a fine instrument. And so I love that. And let me go to you, Juan. As a general manager of a Ford store, in Oregon, you guys are obviously believers in the internet department and what it can bring to the table. What's your take, man, today, moving forward? I mean, not so much the last few months because, everybody had to make adjustments on the fly, but really moving forward and using the internet department to go to the next level. What are you guys doing over there at Tom Denchel Ford in your group to make that happen?
During COVID, it kind of exposed our weaknesses quite a bit. So we had to adjust, adapt, implement, and very quickly. So we did that. And what we found is when a customer is their initial contact, we started doing start to finish our salespeople, even doing the finance part.
Wow. Okay. Man, that's pretty cool. So you guys have taken the cradle to grave from the. So how's that? That's a unique. Hey, and here's the deal, man. I think Josh, you and I've talked about that. Bring them all three on the screen, Mike. Let's bring us all three on so we can talk. Josh, you and I talked about that. You've been on 20 shows at least, and we've talked about that in the past when it was kind of more of a conception. But and it's never been a bad idea. It's just been a bad idea for some people. I mean, some people have no business doing that because they jack up a one-car funeral. But Juan's doing something there that's pretty interesting. And Juan, that's cool. Tell us about that. When did you guys start doing that, and what's it look like to you guys, and what's it done for the, what's it done for your store?
So during COVID, we had record month after record month after record month after record month. We just continue to grow. This month, we're superseding all the last 3 months.
Wow.
So a lot has to do with our process from cradle to grave. I've been here with the auto group for going on 19 years. So I've worked for a lot of GSMs, GMs, dealer partners, a lot. And we've tried several different components, and this one is by far probably the most effective one we've done yet. And it's all about it's all about making it happen. That's really the bottom line is making sure the right people are handling those customers, and our sales associates have been here 10 years plus.
I love that. And, Josh, it's got to be music to your ears a little bit, just from the standpoint of someone who's been with the group for 19 years, but here he is leading this change. I mean, that's not normally what you would get, but that shows you that that he's forward thinking, and not specifically necessarily with the cradle to grave aspect, but concept. But I mean, it really takes thinking out of the box. No pun intended. We had an F&I Shaka on, but it takes thinking out of the box, right, to really. Today, get that extra percentage, that extra, group of deals that you need to get. Because, I mean, let's just face it, there's so much technology out there. There's so many pixels and things that could be on websites that trap leads. And we're overloaded with data, but data is useless, right, if we don't have the processes in place. I mean, it just doesn't, what good is it? But if we have these things in place, man, we can pretty much, we can pretty much know anything we need to know to get a customer and just snag them right off of our website. And so to talk a little bit about that out of the box thinking, Josh, when it comes to today's internet department.
Yeah, I think with with your BDC manager, a lot of times it's like you said, we got stuck in the data prison. We looked at data, we looked at the numbers and our response rate, and how many appointments we're getting in, how many this, how many that, and then we look at the end of the day, we weren't selling cars. And it's because we weren't prepared as that. And so as BDC managers, BDC directors, whatever you want to call us, we've got to become sales managers. Plain and simple. We've got to be able to jump in and close a deal. We have to be able to desk a deal and do all of those things, because if not, we're going to get put out on the curb. That's the biggest thing. Like, if we don't change now, the business is going to change us, and it's either going to change us to the good, and we're going to stay in the business, or we're going to get out of the business, because, with all the deals that are, like you said, record months of leads just coming in, and our percentages were dropping.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden we realize that, holy crap, there's a huge problem with our process and our people that are in place. And so that's the big thing. We have to get better. We have to become sales managers. If you're a BDC manager, director, whatever you want to call us, You have to become a sales manager, or you're going to get left in the dust.
Juan, as we got a couple minutes here, and I want to go back to you guys for just a couple more comments. But I mean, really, isn't it? Yesterday we were discussing, and again, Josh has been on so many times back in the infant stages when we were talking BDC a few years ago. But today, Juan, is it really no longer are we needing to discuss, today's internet department, today's internet team, BDC, what have you, is our salespeople. I mean, they are, they're salespeople. They should be able to handle, right, a customer, and they're not appointment setters only or what have you. But I mean, is it not so much are they, but is it if you're not there, you're pretty much already missing the boat. I mean, what do you think about that, Juan? Obviously, you think that way. You guys are.
No, absolutely. They got to be trained assassins. That's what the BDC department is. I mean, that's our livelihood. That's where, and we've created a little different. I don't really say it's a BDC department or internet department. We just have the right people handling the leads. That's key. And once you do that, everything else just falls into place.
It does.
Awesome. And I mean, with you, David, doing this, this Facebook marketing. Scott told me, he's like, "You're doing so good. Why do you want to do this?" I'm like, "Because I want more. That's why. I want more."
And I didn't get that, but Josh, when I hear something like that, I didn't get that from a greed standpoint. I got that from there's just because there's so many dealerships, and I guarantee you go to where Tom Denchel Ford is, and you go to their quote dealer row, what have you, which internet widens that right to beyond what's on the actual street. Anywhere in their near market, there's customers dropping the ball, or there's dealerships dropping the ball with customers left and right. So the wanting more part is there's just more people out there that want a car, and today the brand loyalty. I mean, let's just face it. I mean, they'll buy a Ford even if they drive a Chevy, if they drive a Dodge, if they drive a Nissan. And so I love what Juan said. I mean, he wants more because there's customers out there that need vehicles, and that's what we do. Go ahead, Juan. What'd you say, Juan?
Out there that aren't being taken care of, and that's exactly where we come in.
Yeah, and you know what? And to me, and Josh, I'll go to you on this. To me, as I look at that as as malpractice, man. I mean, it's like it's not just about making a buck. It's just this is what I do. You know what I mean? This is what I do. I mean, doctors get paid a lot of money, and they want to see more sick people. Yeah, they make a ton of money, But I mean, but their goal is like, look, man, there's people out there that need my help, so to speak. So there's people out there that need a car. They don't think they could buy a car. They don't know they can get a deal. They think they're stuck in their car, their lease, because they have 6 months left on it. They still don't know that I could trade it in early or whatever it is. So I mean, it's important that we take care of them, and that's where you guys come in, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about building that customer experience and really going after them. There's not enough, as many cars as we sell, and we will continue to sell. We always are going to want more because there's dealerships out there that are missing it, that are creating a bad name for dealerships, and that just really are just not doing what needs to be done. And so we're always going to be out there asking for more. I am, at least.
Come on.
When we get to 1,000, I'm still going to go for 1,200.
Come on, man. I love it. I can't wait to be around for that record. And, I know you're going to do it. And so, hey, Juan, Josh, man, listen, you know what? I want to thank you for being on. And as those throughout the week watch this, and as it makes its way around, there'll be a couple thousand people that that are going to be watching this show. And I just know this, you guys are I mean, Juan, I know how strong you guys are, and we had you on because you guys are just we just got to know you. And Josh, you're probably the best, not one of, you're the best BDC person that I know that's working in a dealership today, and that's just flat out the truth, in my opinion. So I want to thank you guys for coming on. I think that there's going to be some dealers that go back and watch this, and some folks that are encouraged by what you guys have to say. And if someone wants to reach out to either one of you guys, what's the best way? Josh, I know that you're on Facebook. Juan, what's the best way, Juan, for them to reach out to you if someone wants to follow you and just check out what you're doing?
Same thing, Facebook.
All right. Make sure you comment in a little bit in the feed, and that way they know how to find you. And Josh, same thing, man. Is there a way besides Facebook that's better to?
You got Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I think I'm on TikTok too. I haven't done anything, but I'm on TikTok too for some reason. And then if they want to text me, 859-421-9377. If you have a question, you need anything, you need, somebody to vent to, or you want to figure out something, give me a call. I'm more than happy to help.
Awesome. All right, man. I don't know how you just freaked me out for a second. It looks like you picked yourself up, Juan. Like your body looked like you picked it up and it separated. You saw that, Josh? It separated from the desk. I was like, man, he just did a magic trick. All right, guys. Hey, thank you guys for hanging out with us, man. It's been awesome. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a strong close to the month. We'll see you guys very soon.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Well, guys, we got today's show. Did you see that, Mike? That freaked me out.
It threw me for a loop too.
He picked himself up. He's like, but when he picked himself up, it was like right here it was cut off. It was weird. But at first, another thing freaked me out. Then when he got closer, I realized it was a green screen. I thought at first he was standing in front of a pickup truck. I was like, man, I'll tell you what. Hey, so great show today. Shaka Dyson, Todd Smith, Josh Mitchell, and Juan Azuna. And listen, great guys on the show today. We're going to give away this shirt here in just a minute. And how we doing it?
Give me 1 sec. I'll get the name.
All right, go ahead and get the name. Listen, while we're getting the name, we're going to give away the shirt. And I apologize about those of you the majority of people that are going to watch this after the fact. If you want a shirt, you can message us, and we'll see what we can do. And also, you can go to faithgear.co, faithgear.co. Digital Dealer, October 6th and 7th. We're giving away 5 tickets today as well. If you shared, commented, you're included in that as well. If you do throughout the week, we'll make sure you're included as well. We're going to give away 5 tickets. It's I'm emceeing it, and we're going to be doing the keynote at the end of day 1. And you don't want to miss that. It's going to be really, really good this year. They're putting a lot of effort into the conference. And the winner of this Faith Gear Strength t-shirt, we're going to send it out to you. If I can find the top of this thing, we're going to send it out to you today. Is
Alan Cooper.
Come on down. Alan Cooper, you win the shirt, the Strength shirt. So we'll make sure that we get your information. And hey, guys, listen, I appreciate it. Cribs will be back next week with me, and I appreciate you hanging out. If you are on Spotify or Apple Podcast or iTunes, you can subscribe to Auto Dealer Live on any of those 3 platforms, and you can go back and listen to all of our old shows, as well as be updated every time if you want to just listen. If you don't want to watch, you can do it on Facebook. Also, you can catch it live on YouTube and subscribe there as well. We want to thank you guys for hanging out with us. I'm David Villa, and I'll see you next Thursday.
We out.